Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. So today we have the review of the Yamaha FG800 Acoustic guitar. Not acoustic electric, straight ahead acoustic. There are no electronics in this guitar. Now, of course, this is normally a guitar that you would buy from any guitar store that sells Yamaha. And in my case, I deal with Long & McQuaid. However, I didn't buy this one from them. Sorry, guys. But anyways, I got a deal on it. It was used, right? The guy had it for the better part of a year now. So it's just about going on a year old. And he found out he couldn't learn to play. Bought it all brand spanking new with a gig bag, everything, $400 out the door with tax, and bingo bango, he can't play. Go figure. It happens, right? So, anyways, he had it up for sale. I saw it. I fell in love with the looks, and I thought, oh, that's so sweet. And it's an FG800, too. I was looking at one of these. But I'm glad I didn't spend $280. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the guitar. It's just that I was looking for a good used guitar without breaking the bank. And I found one that is like virtually, you might as well call it brand new. There's not a scratch or a nick anywhere on this thing. No visible signs of wear on the frets. I mean, the thing is in absolutely brand spanking new condition. And for $150, I ain't gonna say no, would you? Of course not. You'd be a fool to say no. Anyways, so you can get this in a variety of finishes. This one is called the Sand Burst. They also have a Brown Burst, a Natural, and I think one other one. But anyways, from the top of my head of the specs I can recall on this thing, we have a Nato neck, a Nato Okume body, and of course the top is a solid spruce top. Rosewood fretboard that has no banding in it, so it's like pure unadulterated rosewood, like one solid color. It's like, that is so sweet. You don't run into that every day, especially nowadays because of all that tree stuff, right? Bridge is also made out of rosewood. The nut and the saddle are both made out of a material called urea. Plastic bridge pins, tortoise celluloid pick guard on this thing. Does come with a strap button on the bottom, but does not have one on the heel. It does now because I put one in. Okay. It has the typical tuners that I like the style of, although I don't really care much for the turning ratio on these, but that is not going to reflect anything good or bad on the review. It's just personal preference. I prefer 18 to 1 or higher, and these are like a 14. So, yeah, you know, that's a personal preference thing. But this is definitely good tuners, and they do hold their tune extremely well, so you won't have any worries there. Now, the body finish, of course, is all gloss. The neck is what they call a matte finish, or an almost no finish. It's matte, so you can move up and down the fretboard rather quickly. It's not sticky at all, which is nice because I hate glossy necks. But sometimes you do have to put up with them, depending on the guitar. You learn to deal with it, right? But very nice guitar, very nice sounding. Nice frets on it too. Really happy with it. Bound fretboard, by the way. Body binding is on the back. It is a single layer black, and our top is a multi-layer black and white mix, as we do also have the same kind of material going on in the sound hole as well. No binding on the headstock, but who really cares about that anyhow? I personally don't. But yes, this is definitely a very nice sounding guitar. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's definitely not a jumbo or a super jumbo. Even though it is a full dreadnought, and I'm not a huge fan of full dreadnought body guitars, I figured, you know what, for a right-handed guitar anyways, I really don't care. It's not gonna make it or break it for me. Besides, I'm normally a left-handed guitar player. As many of you know, I play left-handed. Hence, the majority of my guitars are all left-handed, except for this is my only right-handed. So I've decided to get back into teaching myself right-handed guitar so I can play both ways without any issues. And then I get all the toys. Anyways, that's my little thing. So let's talk about, you know, fit finish. Fit and finish of all the parts on this thing, fabulous job. Yamaha, you did a great job. Super low action too, again, really good. I love a low action on any guitar because it makes it so much easier to not only be able to fret your chords and your notes lightly, which saves a lot of wear and tear on your frets. It also isn't going to kill your fingers. And you know, acoustic guitars, they say, are more difficult to play than electric guitars. And I think that's completely untrue, at least when the action is set really super low. On an acoustic, it's so easy to press on the strings. And I've barely got a couple of days worth of playing on this thing and barely any callus at all that's even starting to form. And I can still sit here for hours and play because it's so easy to just press on the strings and create beautiful sounding chords. So I have no qualms with that at all. I think it's fantastic. Now, as far as any kind of blems go, you have your usual wood blems that will always show up because wood in itself is not absolutely 100% perfect. So there is a little spot down in here where you can see a little bit of the ribbing of the grain got a little bit pushed over somehow. That could have been from the tree, could have been from sanding, who knows. But either way, it's there and it gives it character and it doesn't affect the sound of the guitar whatsoever. So, what do I care, you know? There's no finished blems that I can find on it. They did a fantastic job on this body for the gloss finish that they used. So, very happy with that. Now, I do prefer myself, to be honest, a matte top. Because the wood can move, breathe, and resonate much better, and you do tend to get a lot more bass, calmer mids and trebles. This is a little bit more boosted side because of the glossy finish. The top can't move or resonate as easily as a top that has virtually no finish on it. Okay, but again, not a make it or break it. Not complaining about it. It also doesn't get you off the hook either of taking care of the guitar properly with maintaining proper heat and humidity in your house for the guitar, because it is still a solid top nonetheless, and it is all naked wood on the inside, so it's still very sensitive to humidity and heat levels, so be careful of that. But if you want a quality instrument, you're going to have to get one with a solid top. Anyhow, so what do I have against this guitar? Well, I gotta tell you, nothing's ever perfect, so that's always an automatic ding with me. You're never gonna get a 5-star rating out of me for any products, okay? Because nothing's perfect. It's made by man, of course. It's not perfect. Anything in the universe is not perfect. But at the same time, the only real big ding I have, the only complaint I really honestly have on this thing, is there was no strap pin on the heel. Now, I don't care if they would have put one on here at the very bottom, because I've seen that common, but they normally put it up in here on guitars. And I have seen Yamaha put them on, rightly so, because you need to be able to fasten a strap properly to your guitar. And the neck in the heel area is actually the top best place to put a strap pin, and I'll tell you why. When you're holding a guitar, it's got all of its weight, plus you're pushing down on the guitar as you're playing as it is. So if you have a strap that goes from the pin back here, and then you tie the noose of death around it over here, that's what I like to call it, what happens is when you're pushing down with its own weight plus the extra weight when you're pushing and playing, you are actually whacking the thing out of tune. You're playing out of tune. You're tuning it technically out of tune because all that force is being pulled, right? So this is not a good thing. And in the long haul, over years and years of this, it does take years and years to happen, it can actually shift your neck off, you know, so it can take it off of the level that it's on. It can actually pull and shift it. So basically it's kind of like bending this way all the time. Not really the greatest thing for guitars, okay? Now, guitars didn't always have strap pins in the heels, nor did people always put them there. But there was the idea found one day that somebody got this bright idea. Hey, let's put it here. And you know what? Your guitar stays in absolute awesome tune when you have a strap down here on the heel, because there's enough meat there and it's solid enough that nothing's going to make it flex. So hence you're going to play a much better tune when your strap pin is down on the heel, okay? Whether it's at the back side or on the side, that's the optimal place to put that strap pin. So I did have to install one myself nonetheless. That's the way it goes. But that does get a ding on this, because for a guitar that costs $280 Canadian before tax, I expect there better be a strap pin on that heel. And I shouldn't have to spend extra money to either have one put in or to buy the part and put it in myself. That's really unfair to the customer, considering I've seen even cheaper guitars than this from like even lower line brands. They're putting strap pins in the heel. So that's something to be noteworthy of. So Yamaha, if you're listening, straighten your act up on this one, okay? It's not fair to the customers to have to pay extra to get that strap pin and have one put in. Now, I'm not sure if they call these medium jumbo frets or not. They just call them frets, so there you go. They are, to me, looking like they are a medium fret, though, which is fine. Good longevity. And the lighter a touch you are, that you can still ring out beautiful chords and notes, the longer the frets are going to last you. So years and years and years and years, or short term. If you want to be a death gripper on the neck, well, they're not going to last you as long as they would if you were a much lighter touch like you should be anyways. Because when you squeeze hard, you play out of tune as well. Just extra info for you. So we didn't go down the rabbit hole too far on any of that, hopefully. But anyways, I would put this thing at a very, very serious 4 1/4 out of 5. And it gets a 4 1/4 because, number one, nothing in this world is perfect, as you guys know. Number two, the lack of the strap pin. Okay? That is another bit of a big ding. I can't fault the little defect in the wood here, where it looks like the ribbing of the grains are, kind of folded over or kind of missing there a little bit. That's just part of the wood, or maybe it was sanding, but it doesn't affect the guitar in any way, shape, or form. And you cannot expect that a guitar has absolute perfect grain. Does not happen, okay? There's always flaws somewhere. What they call their new style scallop bracing, whatever that's supposed to mean, is quite nice. Looking at the inside finish and everything of the guitar into the sound hole, everything looks fantastically put together. No glue that got oozed over anywhere. It's clean, clean, clean. Very well made instrument. Yamaha's always made outstanding quality instruments. Even for the lower prices like these, they've always been outstanding quality, and a solid top at that for under $300. Kudos. Now, this is marketed as a beginner grade guitar, but it is also marketed as an intermediate level guitar. So beginners and intermediate players can both enjoy this fantastic instrument. Even an advanced player would probably love this thing. Now, there is one other thing I would like to mention, but it does not go against it because I knew about it, I expected it, and I do expect to pay more if there were electronics, because in this one there are no electronics. So the only way you can amp this baby up without electronics is to have a microphone in front, which is a real pain in the neck. So what are your other options? Well, they do have these things where they're a stick-on type pickup, and the other end attaches to your strap pin button, and you can plug it in. You got no control over volume other than the amp, but you could do it that way on the cheap price for about $2.50 out of China, or you can buy sound hole pickups, and there's a variety of different styles and types out there. Although I don't recommend them, you can use them. I have used them in the past to try them out, because Fishman came out with a really cool designed one. Thought I'd give it a go. And you know what? It actually worked pretty good. Although acoustically, the guitar sounded different with having it still being installed in there, because it blocks off part of the sound hole. So when you go back to acoustic playing without the pickup, it kind of sounds off when you have a sound hole pickup in there. But best, of course, is under the saddle style as far as I'm concerned. Now, I will be putting my own electronics in this thing eventually. I'm actually looking at Fishman Prius system, because I like the Fishman stuff. They're fabulous sounding systems, always loaded with lots of features. At least the one I'm getting will have a built-in tuner, bass, mid, treble, phase control, and a few other features to it. So not overly cheap, but not overly expensive, and I'll install that myself because, hey, I work on guitars as it is, so, and I've done these installs before. It's a walk in the park. But nonetheless, eventually it will get a pickup put in when I'm ready to do so. Until then, though, I'm just going to play it as normal. So, that's what I got for you guys. Like, honestly, that's it. So, check the video description below for the link to Long McQuaid. So if you are in Canada, you can buy this brand new. There is a used one available too on their website, so you can save yourself a little bit of money if you want to get a used one. Also, the full out specs that they happen to have on their website for this will also be in that video description if you want to read through those. And enjoy the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Hey! All right. I'd say give it 2, but they only give us the option for 1, so that kind of sucks. Because some videos I'd like to give them, like, 4 thumbs up, but you just can't do it. It's only 1. So, hey, I'll be good with 1. But otherwise, stay tuned for whatever comes next, because I have no idea what I'm doing for our next video. But I wanted to get this review done for you guys so you can, take another serious look at this thing. Fantastic guitar, well worth the money. Even paying the retail, guys, it is definitely worth every penny. And you do have a few different finishes to look at. And yes, for you lefty players out there, here's the problem. They do not make the FG800 in a left-handed version. I'm so sorry to tell you. But you can take a look at the Yamaha 820L. That is in a left-handed model. I don't know all the specs on it, but I do know that Canadian price is about $500. Still fantastic, though. You gotta love Yamaha products. They are great. I'm a Yamaha fan. I'm a Taylor fan, a Gibson fan, an Epiphone fan. I like a variety of brands, even Jackson, right? I own a Jackson, right? I'm not fussy when it comes to instruments other than they have to look good, they got to sound great, they got to play great. I mean, those are the main key things for me. Because if I get everything and it doesn't look great, I ain't going to buy it. Because I want to be able to have the influence of looking at that on the wall going, I must play. Okay? That I must. Okay? And that's kind of how I buy guitars. It's kind of like the drool thing or a little kid at Christmas, whatever you want to call it. Okay? The possession thing of guitars. Okay? We all have what's called gear acquisition syndrome when we are serious guitar players. We got to have everything we can get our hands on. I am so bad. So anyways, that's it. That's all. I'm out of here. See ya.